The current state of Call of Duty and its fans really just makes zero sense to me. So this video is sort of a response to one of Jev's recent videos on the topic. But in Jev's video, he talks about Call of Duty and the state it's in and the state of kind of the media around it. And in this video, he kind of talks about the content completeness of the game. And this is no hate on Jev by any means. His video just kind of sparked up these feelings for me, and I wanted to yap about them here. So the content completeness of Black Ops 7 is kind of a joke, really. Black Ops 7 is only as complete as it is because it's a reskin of its predecessor, which in and of itself was sort of complete. And I believe even when that game came out, he mentioned the same thing about content completeness and just probably forgot. But yeah, so there's just been this large sort of base of people that believe that Black Ops 7 is a good game because essentially it's a game that works, and I just hate that. What I want to get at here is that Black Ops 7 is an utter failure. And I know there's a lot of people that share this opinion. It's pretty lukewarm, all things considered. But I also want to really talk about the still standing fans of the Call of Duty franchise and their innate inability, apparently, to criticize the game in any way, shape, or form. So going off of Jev's quote of content completeness, the game is not even close to that. It has all the things as advertised, but it doesn't perform in the way that a content complete game should perform. And what I mean by that is that there's no uniqueness to the game. There's just nothing to it. It's essentially just another grind for another year and another way for Activision to grab the money that is sitting in your wallet. And as time goes on and better games come out and more interesting ideas and stories and developers come into existence, it can't be appealing anymore to have to sit through yet another terrible game, essentially. The campaign for Black Ops 7, and yeah, I'll disclaimer here. I have not actually played Black Ops 7. I played the beta. I realized how rough it was then, and I realized that voting with my wallet would be to not buy the game because it was not only was it Black Ops 6, which was a bad game all over again, but it was somehow even more empty. It felt like I was being affronted with a nothing burger of a game. It's basically at this point it's basically the same thing as when you go on to your mobile app store and look at all, like, you type in Call of Duty and you see all the weird random ripoffs like Call of Grime and Call of Butt Sex or something. It just doesn't. Obviously those games are gonna be bad. It's the same thing here. You're getting this like reskin. It looks like Call of Duty, but it just isn't anything. You're just looking at the same guns, the same character models, the same graphics, the same gameplay, and then you're being told it's new because they have to. They have to tell you it's new every year. And I think the thing that Call of Duty fans and Call of Duty content creators need to realize is that they should desire and want more for their game. It's okay to want to like the game that's released. That's normal. But you also have to be honest with yourself, and in this day and age, voting with your wallet is all you can really do. Also, the game just like died. It's great. And so when you realize the game is bad, especially when they give you a heads up, you literally get a beta to realize that the game is bad and isn't going to be something new, something unique, or something desirable to any effect. You gotta, suck that up and not and not buy the game. And then when it comes to content creators, I feel like a lot of large content creators that are pretty much tied to Call of Duty feel the need to glaze the game because, that's their income that they're talking about. Like if the game doesn't do good, then their wallets don't do good, which is fair. Like that's a rough thing to have to stress about. But I think they need to also realize that their opinion and their voice is so large and matters so much to these developers that if they can criticize the game for real and bring up the flaws and the rough parts of what going on in the game, like Activision will listen, and we might over time, slowly but surely, get something that's worth $60, $70 price tag, maybe even more by the time another Call of Duty comes out. And it all starts, with the voice of the players. I think Call of Duty is far too large to ever just not be made anymore. There's no way that Activision will just discontinue the franchise because the sales are too low. They'll listen to the player voice and they will improve the game. Because at this point, Activision, they have all these titles, but Call of Duty every year is such a large staple for their their meetings and telling their shareholders what to expect the next fiscal year. So they can't let it go. And so yeah, it just bothers me to see so many people that they bought the game or pre-ordered the game because they don't know any better, essentially. And then I don't think anyone truly believes that Black Ops 7 is better than any other Call of Duty or any other FPS, to be honest, that came out in the past 2 or 3 years. But they have to defend their choice because, if they don't, then they have to own the fact that they wasted their money and their time on something terrible. And that's okay, and that's hard to admit. But everyone needs to be so much more mature when it comes to these topics and realize that we deserve so much more when it comes to these games. And I grew up with Call of Duty. It was a big staple in my upbringing, Modern Warfare 2 lobbies, all that stuff. And I love the game. I want to be able to play the game again and enjoy myself and feel like I'm playing something that deserves to be played. But with Black Ops 7, and honestly the past couple of Call of Duties, you feel like you're playing it because you have to, not because you want to. Especially if you genuinely purchase the game, you're like, well, I guess I gotta get my money's worth. Let me grind out a bunch of shitty looking AI generated camos and then die inside a little bit. Yeah, and I don't understand. It perplexes me day after day how I can continue to hear people that play these games and they act like it isn't the worst thing that they've ever laid their eyes on. When there's so much more out there, there's so many more interesting games and cheaper games. We had Arc Raiders come out this year. It's a $40 game that has sort of taken the world by storm. And it's a genuinely interesting and fun concept. And I also think a large part of Arc Raiders' success is really the community aspect of it. And I think that when it comes to Call of Duty, and that community aspect, it's just been lost. I think in Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2, Modern Warfare 2, talking in lobbies, the shit talking and such was just such a big deal, especially back then when the internet was just like not what it is today. To be able to, talk to your fellow gamers. So many limitations now in the new games. You're just kind of in these silent lobbies. You might hear a blurb or two from someone, but other than that, you're just kind of in this empty corporate wasteland of nothingness with no new ideas, no new concepts. The gameplay feels the same as it did 8, 9 years ago. Like there's just nothing. There's nothing new to come of it. I feel like the only machine that's feeding Black Ops 7 anymore is the machine of hate. There's so many people that hate the game, and then there's so many people that buy the game and play it because they hate those people because they want their like star child to beat expectation and be something special. But yeah, so I think collectively all of us need to realize what's being done and what's happening, especially to all these AAA games. They're all just becoming what slop can we push out and make the most money and boycott all of it. No, but we got to figure out something. We got to come together as collective hive mind and show that we don't like these games that are coming out, and there's no benefit to our own well-being from playing them or buying them or pretending like they're good. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Just want to get those words out, and I'll see you when something else makes me mad.